time, and I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. But, Deputy Speaker, coming to this place, sometimes you see pieces of legislation that are incredibly straightforward. They're actually designed to underpin the growth in the Australian economy by supporting industry to be able to grow, to create jobs, to be able to employ people, to take challenges, to dare, to risk, to push the boundaries for us to be able to become a better country. And particularly in a sector like financial services and in financial services and technology, what we want to do is actually back people to be successful. We actually want people to innovate, and that's at the heart of this legislation. And then you come into this place, and you've got somebody like the member who just spoke, and out of a pointless and needless virtue signalling exercise, and I don't say that with any sense of complementarity, compliment by the fact that there's any sense of real virtue behind it, I should just say signalling, gets up and says we're only going to support things that are genuinely innovative because apparently there's all this disingenuous innovation going on in Australian society that somehow is going to enjoy the benefits of sandboxing in a regulatory framework, largely for the benefit of making themselves relevant in a conversation which they have had so little to do with. And it's embarrassing. And it's about time it was called out. Deputy Speaker, this bill is important. The financial services industry is one of Australia's great employers and backs onto and supports so many of the different sectors that we have that exist in the economy. Of course, our great strengths in mining and agriculture, but can't survive and be supported and help to grow and drive the Australian economy without important sectors like financial services, which help them manage. And of course, the more we see the opportunity for new and innovative approaches to financial services and financial technology to continue to support other industries and businesses as part of the complementary nature of the Australian economy, and that's where our focus should be. And that's what this bill is about. And of course it fits as part of a holistic package of this government's billion-dollar national innovation and science agenda, where we're focused on what we need to do to build the the sectors to grow the economy and take it into the 21st century. And it sits also critically at the heart of our trade and competitiveness agenda. Because if you look around the world today and say the industries that we are going to be successful in into the coming years, it's not going to be in the ones where we're trying to compete solely on the basis of labour costs. It's ones that value and respect the knowledge, the skills and the capacity and the innovation of Australians. Ones that then go on to support existing and primary industries and, of course, secondary manufacturing sectors as well as other service-based sectors in the economy. But we know that a lot of these businesses, those who are innovating, those who are doing the genuine innovation apparently now is the test benchmark being set by the opposition, do so often in spaces that evolve as they're going along. They're pushing the boundaries themselves. They're market testing. That's why it's a challenge to attract capital. We know they face big hurdles attracting venture capital because people want the opportunity to back aspiration, hope, innovation and technology as it goes from idea through to practical application. And, of course, some of the regulatory framework that also necessary to support these businesses as they grow has to grow with it. And that's what we're seeking to do in the rather benign and anodyne Treasury Laws Amendment 2018 Measures No. 2 Bill 2019. Support genuine innovation. And of course in the fintech sector there is an enormous amount of opportunity to be able to do so. The regulations outline the detail of eligibility criteria, that types of products and services can be tested and conditions which can apply during testing in terms of the sandbox. And of course it's consistent in working with many of the regulatory agencies that operate to support these new and innovative businesses to be able to create the jobs that Australia so desperately needs to create the next wave of innovation and technological drive. And we do so because we have a comparative advantage. We have a comparative advantage of a well-established, well-regulated financial services sector. And off the back of that, that creates the environment for people to see the opportunity, the gaps, and of course the power of technology to increase efficiencies, reduce costs and grow the Australian economy. We don't just succeed in that here, we succeed in that in competing across the world. And of course there are many countries that also, where they have big financial services hubs, have the same incubators and excitement around fintech and what it can deliver for their local populations and for the growth and the wealth creation of the future, through productivity enhancement, through efficiency. And of course, countries like the UK and Singapore are at the edge. And we have to stay at the edge of regulation so that we can get ahead as well. And that's what this bill is about, Deputy Speaker. It's about those opportunities and about those jobs, and about backing our entrepreneurs to be successful and to create a globally competitive environment for them to be successful so that we can attract more investment and more capital to grow that opportunity to be competitive across the region. And that's why this bill, as trivial as it may seem to many people, is so critical, and why it is so absurd that the opposition is indulging in the difference between so-called genuine innovation, because they claim now, or at least argue, this disingenuous innovation. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
I thank the member for